Good evening, everyone. This is Jonathan Higgins live from the Cincinnati Union Terminal. Tonight, we have a great presentation for you. We're going to go live to the Newsreel Theater. So let's take it away downstairs.
Hi, I'm Jack Haap. I've been around here about 60 years. I think this month is either my 60th anniversary of the club or last month. I don't remember. But what I got is a bunch of stuff I've taken through the time. And let me go back. Okay. This Wentz Place Station, which I think some of the older members remember. We used to go there after meetings sometime and watch trains. It was gone, and right now he's getting ahead of me. Okay, I got it.
Roy,
he was getting. Okay, this is Wentz Place Station. Now, what's going on here at Wentz Place Station? The mail trucks would come down in the morning around 6 o'clock or so. And as the trains came in from out of town, they'd drop off a bag for each of the suburban stations. So therefore, you could get your mail a day quicker that way. And here's some trains going through B&O. Pennsylvania going south. New York Central headed south. Another B&O going north. Now here's a rare one. A Baldwin, New York Central, shark nose. There's very few of them, and they hit them around here. That's an RDC car behind the morning train going out in New York Central. Now you come in the afternoon. Can I slow it down? It won't back up. Oh, I got it. Okay. It's going a little faster than me. National Limited coming in there. And a Alco FA, something else that's pretty rare. There's a little more of those than there were the shark noses, but they still ran through here. And New York Central again. B&O. Pennsylvania going out. And that white car over on the right-hand side is my old Ford, my 65 Ford. I got it in here for some reason.
you want me to help flip them?
I just don't want to go too fast.
Yeah, that's all right. Let me take care of that when you're talking.
Okay, Pennsylvania again, coming and going. Okay. Now this guy showed up one day with his magic machine there. If you start working, this is what happened. Boom, just like that. Not quite, but this is they tore down Wentz Place Station in '67, and they moved the track to the east. And this is view looking up north, and where the bridge is, that red bridge is where the station was, just behind the bridge. And the tracks were eventually moved over on the bridge, of course. Okay, we're in Alaska now. This is narrow gauge. You can ride it. You can get off your cruise ship, walk over to pier, and get on the train. And this is another view of it. There's Alco narrow gauge engines, something very rare. And just going up the hill there. You went about 10 miles or so, and you cross into Canada. If they crossed into Canada, they would take the engine, run around the train, bring it back down. And this is some of the cars there and the yard. And it's weak road cars, very similar to that. And this here, the picture isn't good. I got that little sunshine in there or something. It's a GE built these in the early 1950s. They were diesel, and they took them down a few years ago to Seattle to redo them, and I guess they're running now. Now, this here is somewhere in Alaska, and excuse me. I think this is a troop sleeper, and okay, And here's what I want to know. Has anybody ever seen a trucks like this? Okay. Okay, thanks, Jim.
Allied full cushion.
Next one. We're in Michigan now. What does the daylight engine do in Michigan? They had a big rail thing up at Owatsko, Michigan. I went up there and took some pictures. Moving along there, he's going out from the on his trip. He'll return to the town later. Okay. And 1225, this is the engine from the Pierre Marquette. And it's been through town. I don't know if we used it or not, but one time it came through on a doubleheader. 91? Wait a minute. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. 765, we have had this engine on a couple of our trips, I know. I know we went to Indianapolis at least once with it. And okay, what's going on here? Something's coming in, a train's coming in, and these girls are excited. And these girls, the one on the left is my oldest daughter. The one on the right is my second daughter. And that's my wife, and girl number 3. 2 years later, girl number 4 came along. And they were waiting for this to come in. 4501, which the club ran starting in 1967. We had a few trips before we got the big engines. And now we're in Oregon. This is the Mount Hood Railroad train. They ran from the city of Hood and went up to Mount Hood. And these are the cars we had. Are these from the Santa Fe or not? Anybody know? No? Okay, thank you. Here's where we're sitting. And funny thing happened. They gave us a box lunch, and people started opening this lunch. And the guy across the aisle from me said, "Salt, we got salt." He was excited about salt for some reason. He said he liked salt. So I made our day there. Now we're over in the Oregon coast at Garibaldi, and this is a engine 262, which I believe was originally a logging engine. And they ran a train from up to a little town up the coast a little ways. He got off, got an ice cream cone, got back on the train, came back. This is another view of it. The running gear there. I always like pictures of running gear myself. Okay. Now, why this was there in Oregon, I do not know. You notice it's got the snowplow in front, and Father Dale told me that's the way they ran some of them. And okay, this is a RDC. It was in Oregon also, and I guess they used it. We didn't ride it, but we rode the other train. Now we're in West Virginia. Elkin, I'm sorry, Elkin. And we rode, okay, we rode this train out a ways. We went out and they went to some falls or something like that. And they ran the engine around, and we took this picture from the rear platform of a car. You're allowed to stay on the rear platform. The train was stopped, and there was a member of the crew standing there with you. I don't know why, but that's the way it was. C&O F unit. Okay. Another view of it. It's got a Jeep behind it. They ran at least 2 trains when we rode it. They pulled one train out, one followed down the tracks, and ours went out. Okay, we're down there, Durban, West Virginia, and we got a Climax steam engine. These were the answers to the Shea steam engine, and there's this cylinders, one on either side, driving a shaft that went across the train, and it put the power into a shaft that went down through the train, and they had a gear driven to the engines, to the wheels there. And we ran low on water, so they stopped at a spring somewhere along the way and pump water up into the tank. You can see the water going down there into the tank. Okay. Now we're in cast. Cast is where they have a lot of steam engines, and this is a Heisler. This is another gear-driven engine. You see the cylinders at about a 45-degree angle to this shaft, and the car in back is the tank car, and the coal is in the area behind the cab. Okay, this is a typical Shea engine, 3 cylinders on the side. And there's close-up of them. They drove a shaft on the outside of the engine. Shaft went from the front all the way to the back, including the tender. It was driven also. And there's the way the gears are set up to drive the wheels. A lot of grease on them, I believe. And like any other steam engine, you have to oil around. There's the engineer out oiling the cylinders. Now this here, number 6, is the last Shea engine that was built in 1945 by Lima up here in Ohio. And it's the last Shea, the largest Shea built. And the Western Maryland used it to move coal out of West Virginia.
Now we get these.
Okay, this is our train going up to Bald Knob. We had a helper on it. And there again, they stopped for water. They got a tank there, and I don't know if they fed it from the creek or not. Now, this is coming down. We got off the train at the top. I want to get a picture of both engines before I got back there. The pusher was already down. Now, this here is what I call a artsy-crassy. And we were, the sun was shining through the hills. We had steam there, and I figured, well, that's something different. So I took a picture. Okay. And we're in New Hampshire, Mount Washington Cog Railway, it says. And is Cog Railroad, there's a cog in the middle of the engine and drives a rack along there. And you can see there the cylinders. Cylinders are driving the shaft. It's moving. And the wheels of the engine do nothing but support the engine. Get a drink. Now this is a switch on the railroad, and we had to switch over to another line, and the guy got down there and started flipping stuff over. It took him about 4 or 5 minutes to get everything done. We rode a cog railroad in Switzerland, and they had nothing like that. It's very simple. This here is the first engine they had, pepper sass, and you can see on the front, next to the vertical boiler, the cog there, which drives it up. Okay. We're in California now, you can see, Golden Gate Bridge. We had to stop on Golden Gate Bridge because my wife wanted a picture. She loves bridges, especially the Golden Gate. This is Hyde Avenue. You can see in the road there the tracks for the cog, for the incline. The cable car. And there's 2 cable cars sitting there. This is a PAL line, and they're waiting to take on passengers. This is a PAL line also, and passenger on, and there's people waiting in line to go on these things. And there's stuff, and you can ride on a running board there. And this is one there waiting to, for his passengers. And it'll leave them when they get filled up. You can see a line of people there standing there.
Oops, sorry.
Okay, this is the California line, and the California line is a straight line except for going up the hills, and they got grips at both ends. And they go up the end of the line, and the grip man gets out, goes to the other end of the car, and goes on back down. That's my wife standing there watching things going on. And this is a Italian streetcar that they brought over. Why they brought Italian streetcar over, I don't know. But wait a minute. You can see in the background there's a trolley bus back there with his pantograph. And wait now.
Cord.
Okay. Now what they did out there in San Francisco, they bought a bunch of PC cars, and I think some came from Toronto. I'm not sure about that. They painted them in different schemes of each different cities, and you get in the car, and inside it tells you which city this scheme is. There's one of them. I don't know where it came from. The scheme came from. Now, to me, this is an Easter car, color like that. And there's the Italian car with a PCC car behind it. Red and cream, one somewhere. And blue and yellow. You notice it's got doors on both sides. They can go either way. And this, I don't know where this is from also. And all red. Now you can see this is an Illinois terminal scheme. And there again, they got doors on both sides of the car. They can go either way. And the other green one. And now this color here, if you remember the old buses we had here, they had a orange and cream scheme before they got the new buses in 1960. And this is, I wonder if they took the PC cars here, they could have painted them like that and they look like that, but okay. They look like this, and they're yellow with green striping on them. And they had about 5 or 6 different lines in the city that they had PC cars. And this is a side view. And in this car, between the windows and the standing windows, they got an area for ads. And no ads up there. They had one picture. And that's a picture of a PCC car like this going down from Price Hill, Forest Hill, going over Willard Avenue to Glenaway, then on down to 8th and State. And okay, wait a minute. And this is San Diego, and that's a railroad station. And I imagine this station's got to be something like 80 years old or something like that, at least. There's one view of it, and okay, there's the inside. That lady standing there, sitting there, is my wife again. And they run trains from there up to LA, and then they run some local trains. Okay. California again to Tehachapi. Here's a train going uphill. Okay. Here's that train again, and the cars behind it is the same train. So basically, the train passes itself as it goes uphill. Quite amazing. My wife got a kick out of that even. She's not a rail fan. I put this in here because, go ahead. You know what this is? Right. This is, should I say, sister boat or brother boat of the Delta Queen. And I took a picture of it because I just want to show you what the Delta Queen looked like before it came to Cincinnati. I don't tell you where this is for. This is your fuel tank. I got a picture of a diesel and a daylight engine on there. This is up, okay. Wairika, California. We're only about 17, 18 miles from the Oregon state line. There's an old switcher. I guess it's a GM, PMD. Is it? And there's another 262 logging engine. We rode a train from here over to the east to some town. I forget what name of it was. We had dinner there, or lunch, I should say. And we came back, and there's this diesel and the steam together. Okay. There's the engineer, different view. That's Wairika Western Railroad. And I don't think it's running anymore. I think they shut down. This was about 08, I think. And this guy had his car, and you could ride it. He took you a ride down the road a ways, down the tracks, away and back. I had never ridden one before. Now, okay. Why do I have this here? Well, my wife is a Lighthouse fan. They're worse than rail fans, I can tell you. But so when we go out on our trips, we might get lighthouses and trains at the same time, so it makes both of us happy. Now we're in Colorado. The Numbers train, and we're up 10,000 feet. And we're at the station and train. What's nice about here, you can walk down along the tracks and things like that. Walk right up to the engine, take pictures and stuff like that, which you can't do at Durango on the other train. And going up the hill. Okay. And a water tank. Pretty good sized water tank, I think. Oops.
Sorry, that's
Okay. This is lunch stop. See that building in the back there? That's, you get off the train, you go in there, you go in one door if you get chicken, you go in the other door if you got beef or something like that, and then you go down and you have your lunch. And you get back on the train and continue on the rest of the way. This is another view of the train. Okay, and this is in the fall time with the aspen trees and the train coming around through it. We were there in October one year because we wanted to go down to Albuquerque and go to the Hot Air Balloon Festival, which is quite amazing. And we had some snow on one of the trips.
Well, I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
We're going a little fast there. I don't know what. I'm not touching the keys.
Okay, let me try it now.
Okay.
Okay, another picture. Okay, now we're over on the Durango and Silverton train. This picture was taken back of our hotel we stayed at. We took us 4 trips before we realized where we should stay. And you just walk out your door, go across the parking lot, and the train goes by. And this is in Durango, heading out. And this is going up. This time we were there in late May. We were there at that time of year because my sister's youngest daughter got married out in Estes Park. And so we went out for the wedding. And of course, we're out there, we're going to go down and ride the trains. And here he's blowing his boiler out. You can see the steam coming from there. And this is in Silverton. And this is the restaurant. We've been there 5 times. And this is a Shady Lady restaurant. I won't tell you what's supposed to be going on there. That's my wife sitting there with an engine back of her. And this is where they pull up into here when they come to Silverton. And they stop, let people off, and they take the train down. They got a Y somewhere. They back it up, and you get on it, and you go on down. And this here is, to me, one of the ugliest things I've ever seen. It's a diesel switcher, which I think the city fathers made them get, and because of the pollution. And looks like the guy that designed it, his job before is designing tanks, army tanks or something like that. And it's quite ugly. Okay, this Tank Creek, that's where we're taking on water there. And that's the drivers. And these engines were originally standard gauge engine. Sometime back in the 1920s, they took and they made it an hour gauge engine, and they put the counterweights on the outside of the frame. You can see the frame behind that, and the end, and the wheels are back there. Okay, this is a car they had the last 1 or 2 times before that they had. They didn't have it when we first started riding there in the early 1990s. And we didn't ride on that. We'd ride on another open car. This train went out of Alamosa up to a place called La Vida in Colorado. And there was only 1 engine and 2 cars. There's a whole train there. And the observation car, if I remember right, is Mardi Gras. And we used the Mardi Gras in few of our trips when we ran the steam trips. And I just read something about the Mardi Gras that someone else has it, I think in Illinois, and they changed the name of it. Different name though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Jim. This is a Y in the engine. They didn't have enough Y the whole train, but they just took the engine off and turned around, and he coupled onto the observation car to go back to Alamosa. And that's the car we rode, and we sat at top, of course. And we're in Canada, up and around Vancouver. And this is a Royal Hudson. We rode that out to a some kind of a rail museum. Then they brought us back by boat to Vancouver, actually North Vancouver, I'm sorry. And there's a Royal Hudson again. We had the Royal Hudson one year in Cincinnati here on our trips. It wasn't big enough for the railroad though. We needed a diesel helper. And there's another view of it, Royal Hudson. They don't run this anymore, unfortunately. And this is in Jasper, Alberta. And this is the Via train. And I think it was a train that only ran from here out to the coast. To where? Okay. And we've been in Jasper 3 times. Each time we're there, we saw some kind of a train. Oops. Okay, we saw the Rocky Mountaineer. I think twice we saw the Rocky Mountaineer out there. And here's the end card. And you can ride on the bottom, open air, or right up top there, closed in, watch the scenery go by you. And this is another trip we made. We went out to ride from Vancouver up to Whistler. Whistler is a skiing place. And we got to Whistler, and we rode a tram from down up to one mountain, took another one over another mountain, and down another to the bottom and up and around again. Quite interesting. And this here is a hotel that the Canadian Pacific built. They built many hotels like this across Canada. This is in Victoria. Victoria is actually on an island a few miles from Vancouver. And we had to take a ferry over there. And this is, as I said, nighttime. And this I put in there because it was some kind of government building that with lights on at night. Sort of pretty. And that's like the ferry we took. We were on the other ferry just like it, going the other direction from Vancouver to Victoria. Very interesting part of Canada. And this is a ferry that took us back to Washington State. And from Washington State, went on down to Seattle and flew home the next day. Now we're still in Washington State. This is near Mount Rainier. This is another logging engine. It's a 282 tank. Looks like a pretty good sized engine with all that, the tank up there and everything like that. There's his running gear again. Now, this was taken in Washington State again, another trip we were on, and I forget the name of the town, small town, just sitting there, nothing else. I don't know what it was there for, or why, or who it was. I don't know, but it was there. And then this is Roanoke. We went to Roanoke and for a train ride. And this is 1218, was a club he had 2 or 3 times on his trip. And this is this engine here, 2156, is a Y6B, I believe. And it went to St. Louis to the wait now. It went to St. Louis in the Railroad Museum in St. Louis. They got it back in Roanoke where it belonged. This is a smokeless steam engine. They take steam from a boiler and a factory and they fill up with steam. They can run for a while, and they use this at areas like where they got chemical plants and dangerous chemicals, so they don't get any sparks and things like that. And that's an old friend, 611 coming in from a trip. What we did, we went to Roanoke, and one day we rode this train to Lynchburg, to the east, and we came back. Then the next day we rode it, it's actually the end of this day, we rode a train from Roanoke to somewhere where we went through a tunnel, and they turned there. I don't forget the name of the place. I tried to find it on the map. I couldn't find it. And we came out of the tunnel. There was hundreds of people there waiting for us to come out of the tunnel, taking pictures. A little closer view of 611 coming by. And the engine tender here, heading towards town. Here's pulling into the downtown area. And if you're ever there, the old station they took, and they got a museum in there for this guy that took pictures of the N&W and steam back in the 1950s. I can't. Oh, what's the link? I got it. It came in. Thank you. And it's very interesting if you ever get in Roanoke. And this is off the Great Northern and Northern Pacific, and Pullman from, I guess, the 1920s. Am I right? And this is the end of the train and end of the program.
Thank you so much for joining tonight's presentation. We hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. Cincinnati Railroad Club on YouTube. And make sure you check often our YouTube channel for our next presentation right here on the channel. Thank you so much and have a great evening.